I'm 45F, married to my husband Tom, 47M, for 20 years, and we have our son Alex, 18M, who's a sweet kid finishing high school and into sports like soccer practices after school and video games on weekends with his buddies. Last year, we decided to host an exchange student, Mia, 19F, from Southeast Asia, through this program to give her a year abroad for college prep and cultural stuff. She's been polite from day one, helping with chores like loading the dishwasher without being asked, and seemed to fit in well, joining family movie nights where we binge old comedies and even teaching us some easy recipes from her home country that became regular dinners. Alex and Mia grew close over time, starting as friends sharing homework tips or playing games online. But recently it turned into dating, like them going to movies on Fridays or studying together at the library, which I was okay with at first since they seemed genuine, and it was cute seeing him happy. But a few weeks ago, while grabbing a snack, I noticed her laptop open on the kitchen counter and glanced at some emails where she was chatting with a friend about using Alex to stay in the country longer, with lines like needing a relationship for a visa extension, joking about marriage for citizenship, and even one saying he's nice enough to make it work for the paperwork. It hit me hard, bringing back memories of my own past where an ex strung me along and manipulated me for money before ghosting, leaving me broke and distrustful. I pulled her aside privately in the backyard, warning her to back off and not toy with my son's feelings for her own gain. But she denied it all tearfully, saying I had it wrong. When Tom heard about it from Alex, who overheard us, he accused me of racism, saying I was stereotyping her because of where she's from and blowing innocent teen stuff out of proportion without proof. It spiraled into huge fights that night and the next, with him sleeping on the couch, barely looking at me during breakfast, and even muttering about divorce if I didn't apologize and drop it. Alex is upset, thinking I'm meddling in his first real relationship and making things awkward at home, and Mia's been distant, skipping our usual group meals. Friends I talk to say I might have jumped to conclusions without talking to everyone first, but protecting my son from getting hurt feels like the right call, especially with those emails staring me in the face. Am I in the wrong for warning our exchange student not to date my son after discovering she's been manipulating him for a visa, and my husband accused me of racism, leading to divorce talks? Or am I wrong for how I handled it and need to back off? Update 1. I was still reeling from finding those emails on Mia's laptop suggesting she was using my son Alex for a visa, like messages plotting to extend her stay through a fake relationship, lighthearted notes about green card marriages, and even one line about convincing him to help with the forms, which prompted me to warn her off privately, only for my husband Tom to call me racist, and escalate to threats of divorce during our blowout arguments that left the whole house tense. The tension boiled over at a family dinner a couple nights later, turning into a full-on confrontation that divided everyone but didn't fix a thing, leaving me second-guessing myself as I washed dishes alone afterward. We were all at the table, passing around the stir-fry Mia had helped make earlier that week with her special spice mix we all liked, when Alex brought up how awkward things felt lately and asked point-blank why I didn't trust her with him. I explained calmly at first, pulling out the printed emails where she wrote about needing a boyfriend to secure her future here and stay beyond the program, plus another bit joking about wedding bells for legal reasons, saying it looked manipulative, and I was just looking out for him like any mom would after seeing stuff that reminded me of my own bad experiences. Mia got upset, insisting the emails were taken out of context, and she really cared about Alex, that it was just venting to a friend about visa worries without any real plans to use him or fake anything. Tom jumped in right away, defending her by saying I was projecting my old issues from that scammy ex who took advantage of me, and letting some kind of bias cloud my judgment because she's from a different country, accusing me of not giving her the benefit of the doubt like I would if she were from down the street. It got heated as I pushed back, reminding him how we'd agreed to host her as a family, and now it felt like he was siding against us without even reading the full emails, and he shot back that my warning had made her feel unwelcome, potentially ruining her whole year abroad and our reputation with the program. Alex stormed off to his room, saying we were embarrassing him in front of her, and Mia excused herself quietly to her room in tears, mumbling something about packing. Later that night, lying awake while Tom crashed on the couch again and the house felt too quiet, I thought about how this had cracked our marriage wide open, with him barely speaking to me beyond necessities like coordinating Alex's school pickup or grocery lists. A neighbor friend I vented to over coffee said it sounds like deeper issues bubbling up, and maybe we need to verify if the emails are even real. But Tom's racism jab keeps replaying in my head, making me question if I am overreacting or if there's more to this. The house feels like a war zone, with everyone tiptoeing around. Should I back down and apologize to smooth things over, or stand my ground to protect my family from what looks like trouble? Update 2. The family dinner exploded after I shared the emails I'd found on Mia's laptop about using Alex for visa purposes, like specific lines joking about dating him to apply for extensions, avoid going home, and even locking in the status with a quick ceremony, which I'd confronted her about, leading to Tom's accusations of racism and talks of divorce amid our ongoing fights that had us all avoiding each other at meals. A few days later, still in this Cold War at home with short tempers, avoided eye contact, and me catching myself staring at her closed door wondering what else she might be hiding, I decided to dig deeper into the emails out of nagging suspicion. And what came out during a tense living room talk changed how we saw the whole mess and shifted things around for everyone. I reached out to the email friend listed, using a translation app since it was in her native language, and firing off questions about the context. And after some back and forth over a couple days with screenshots exchanged, they spilled that the messages were faked by Mia's family back home. They'd hacked her account to mess up her stay here, all because they wanted her back for an arranged marriage she was trying to get away from in an abusive setup with controlling rules and threats. Mia confirmed it when we all sat down in the living room one evening, the air thick with unease as Tom passed around tea to keep things from boiling over right away, explaining tearfully that her parents had been harsh, with stuff like locking her in rooms or yelling fits, and she'd come here partly to escape that life. But the fake emails were their desperate move to make us send her home early and force her into the marriage. Tom admitted then that he'd known bits of her story for a while and had been quietly helping her look into asylum options with a lawyer friend he knew from work, which is why he defended her so hard and got mad at my warning, thinking I was jumping in without the facts. But he apologized for not telling me sooner and letting it blow up into divorce threats instead of filling me in. I shared my side too, opening up more about how my ex's manipulation left me hypervigilant and quick to spot red flags, even if they weren't there, and that seeing those emails triggered fears for Alex, without me considering the bigger picture, like her family pressures or cultural stuff. Alex listened quietly, saying he felt caught in the middle but was glad to know the truth now, and asked if we could help her stay safe, while Mia thanked us for believing her finally, though she worried about her program's rules, and if they'd kick her out over the drama. The irony hit when Tom joked about how his secrecy almost broke us up more than the fakes ever could, lightening the mood a little as we all managed weak smiles. But it built suspense as we waited for program advisors to check the hack evidence. Friends I updated over text said it's wild, but good we're talking it out. Can we rebuild from here? Or has the trust been too damaged with all the accusations flying around? Update 3. The living room talk where Mia explained the forged emails planted by her family to drag her back from abuse and into an unwanted marriage, twisting innocent visa worries into seeming manipulation that I'd warned her over, came after the disastrous dinner and Tom's defensive stance, which hid his secret help with her legal options and fueled our divorce-level arguments that had strained every family interaction. Over the next month, we focused on untangling the mess through family meetings and practical steps, coming out the other side closer and more supportive, even if it took time to shake off the leftover awkwardness. We looped in the exchange program coordinators right away, providing proof of the hack like IP traces from her account that matched her family's location and timestamps showing when the fakes were sent, and they extended her stay while we helped with asylum paperwork, Tom taking the lead since he'd started it with his lawyer contact, and me pitching in with research on support groups for her situation plus driving her to appointments. Alex and Mia took things slow, deciding to stay friends for now to avoid more drama and focus on her safety, with him sharing how the ordeal taught him about jumping into relationships without full context, and even helping her practice English for interviews, while her opening up about her fears in small ways, like during game nights we revived to rebuild normalcy around the house. Tom and I had honest chats on evening walks, him admitting his secrecy stemmed from wanting to protect everyone without burdening me during my busy work weeks, and me explaining how my past made me quick to suspect, leading us to promise better communication, like weekly check-ins that actually strengthened our marriage beyond the fights and brought back little things like morning coffee together. It's good overall. Mia's safer now with our backing and starting to smile more at dinners. Alex gained some maturity from the whole thing, and our family feels tighter, turning suspicion into empathy with little traditions like cooking her recipes together or group hikes on weekends, proving we can handle crises as a team without falling apart.